There's a little bean guy.
Little bean.
And I'm gonna go focus and not look at my phone for a few minutes and set 5 minutes.
You know what?
To start.
I'm also going to do.
And
5
he's gonna
minutes
start
of beaning.
Yeah, he's gonna start.
There you
go. He goes. You look at his butt sticking out there.
butt.
This is what I got offended. He says, "Don't interrupt me." This is a wrestling podcast. Did you know that? And then I kind of stop focusing. Are you sure the George's knitting will unravel? They'll be really sad. Stop. It's okay. We tried. So there you go. Yeah, that's what's happening. I
feel like I just learned so much, but like this is a big like boomer KC War moment that I just don't pay attention to what the hell is really happening or popular right now.
It took like an entire like segment on the last podcast before you came in. This is basically what we were doing when you came in.
That's amazing.
Is learning about the bean. Amazing. So yeah, welcome to it. And I'll actually adjust your camera there as we go here too. Let's I don't know why we forgot to do that because we were talking so much about things. Casey, where you got a lot of stuff going on,
dude.
You don't have a lot of sleep lately.
No.
We're going to talk about you are bringing 880 Wrestling to Cleveland at Great Lakes Brewery, the Great Lakes Brewery, which I believe is the biggest independent brewery.
Top three.
Yeah. One of the biggest
yes.
in this neck of the woods. So looking forward to that. We'll be talking about a lot of that and what's going on with there and your first time putting on a showness vibes, I guess we can say.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get all that here later in the show. But in the meantime, there were some shows this weekend. There was a Forbidden Door. We all explored the Forbidden Door in some way or another. It was in London. It was they had a mix of people. It was nice. We had our Japanese announcer. We had the Japanese announce table. We did the thing. We're in London, so it had a little different vibe to it. So I think that was kind of cool. I don't know that it was as much of a New Japan showcase as it has been in the past. We've talked about that. Somebody on the comments was really upset that I said that New Japan didn't have stars right now. So they were really mad about that. But it was context too.
Yeah.
I really think Bean, go away. I need to bring the chat room up. I do need to focus on that. But anyways, but either way, it was a good show. It was a good AEW show. We did get a lot of stuff. We did get a El Presidente from New Japan in a cage match.
And
of all things,
and learning ladder safety in the process.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Safely climb a ladder, but also understand that your rank in the company and your experience in the ring. Tana, don't jump off a ladder, buddy. You just don't gotta do it.
Everybody stopped him from jumping off the ladder.
It was so great. It was so great. Just showing concern for Tanahashi, like, buddy, you don't got to do this. You don't got it. Like, it was.
Yeah, that's respecting your elders in the business for sure, right?
Absolutely.
So, but it was a lot of fun. New Japan, NJPW is in a rebuilding phase, and I agree with that. To me, it's just like show me what things look like at Wrestle Kingdom. That's going to tell me. Like they have. What did I say last week was like they have a year. They have this year to figure it out. AEW took a lot of their people. Somebody was like, and WWE took them too. I'm just like, I don't know who WWE took. Tell me who they took since Shinsuke.
I was gonna say they're still mad about Shinsuke, right?
Yeah, they took some Stardom people for sure, but that's not in this case. I don't think. But there's a lot of opportunities, and this is always fun to see who's going to step up. Gabe Kidd is definitely there.
It's been a treat to see him part of the Death Riders. I really enjoyed the War Dogs cage match against United Empire. I think that was Ospreay's last match in New Japan, if I'm not mistaken, or it was like part of that group. But the lead up to that storyline was great, and then just like getting a little bit of Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd, where they said that wouldn't happen in AEW, and they've shared the ring in spots together. So it's a lot of really great crossover, and I just think like Gabe Kidd is just like a good talent that's just aggressive as hell and just fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of those guys. When we got to do backstage at the last DC show they did, and just the guy screaming down the camera was just like, oh my god, he's gonna like run right through me, kind of deal.
I wonder why I would get along with someone like that.
I think you'd be kind of okay with that, so but and a lot of those guys are great like that, right? And I think you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see the people about, obviously there's a good relationship relationship there. I have speculations about what I think AEW New Japan is going to do in the future. Just reading tea leaves of what I'm seeing, like I hypothesize that, I think I'll throw this out here. I have no knowledge, but I feel like there is going to be a move in the near future that New Japan will have a broader American presence via AEW.
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
Given the WWE deals that they had acquiring AAA.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems to be like the bigger TV companies are now, absorbing these smaller companies or international companies to create international partnerships, so you can really tap into international audiences. So like, it's another thing where having more TV companies in the States is good for wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're having international relations across companies and you're able to send people in between these shows seamlessly, everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone gets more wrestling. And in theory, we should get more quality wrestling.
Absolutely. As if we don't listen. I try to watch everything, and I'm having so much trouble. I'm starting to lose Ring of Honors. I catch up like a month at a time, which is tough because I always bug the editor when I see an issue, and he's like, hey, 3 weeks ago this is my buddy there, but yeah, like, and now like Power is actually a viable product to be able to watch even if you missed a week. You don't have to search through the Twitter for it, and actually like it's the Crockett Cup. I watched like maybe 3 or 4 episodes of it. It's actually it's some good stuff, right? And some of the familiar faces are nice to see too. What's up, Beastman in the first shot, for instance, in the Battle Royal. But still, like, everybody's kind of just leveling up at this point, and it's awesome to see. Like, it's a embarrassment of riches as far as wrestling goes. So, but yeah,
and that's one of the cool things about like being in the independent scene right now is that there's a flavor and variety of wrestling for everyone. Like everyone has a flavor of ice cream, but like there's more than one path for anyone to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's such like a ladder and stepping stone if you pay attention to the right promotions. Like, oh, I have a connection here, so maybe I could reach out and see if it can set something up or come in. At the very least, come shake hands and meet some people.
Yeah.
And then like you do it the right way and good things happen.
There's definitely I think you're talking about like these kind of showcase promotions, right? Like I would include, since they're coming back and I'm just on my mind lately, for reasons, Defy Wrestling, right?
Yep.
Like you see a lot of, I think they've positioned themselves as a sort of finishing school for people too, because I know a lot of people were coming through from AEW. Obviously, Moxley was there. Marina Shafir is their women's champion right now.
Yep.
I was reminded recently. So like I think that, or obviously GCW's, which is amazing to me, that GCW, the kind of, I don't want to call them like ECW, the ECW revival in vibe.
Yeah.
And like, how many times have we sat here and going, GCW's dead, nothing's going to happen there?
Who said that? Said that? I never said that.
I've heard like a lot of people say that.
I've had question marks about them sometimes, but but not that they're. I never expected GCW to go away.
But they kept building and then
absolutely
rebuilding and kept rebuilding to what they are now.
They are a dirty indie show because they want to be, not because they have to be. You know what I mean? And by dirty, I mean the death match, the hardcore, and they do that, and they do that willingly because that's what they want to do. But they've done it and done such good stuff that they've obviously earned a respect of WWE to do. Hey, do our WWE ID tournament, like it's just wild that they are given that baton, which means they fucking earned it, right? As a promotion,
absolutely,
no matter what you think of them. So like, and I think you see that across the board with a lot of these promotions. So
it's really cool that they can scratch like any itch and just go from, they don't have to do the death matches anymore. They don't have to do these, AC crazy shows in the warehouse with all the glass. Like they don't have to do it, but like it's pretty fucking rad.
Yeah.
But
they want to.
Exactly. Yeah. But like they can turn around and have a large scale show like Hammerstein.
Yeah.
And like everything they do for the collective and Mania Week. It's really rad.
Yeah. What was that, Riz?
No, I was gonna circle back a little bit with like this connection between AEW and New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
and you mentioned that you are seeing something build.
Mm-hmm.
Does that end at the Tokyo Dome?
Oh, we already.
Are they there yet?
No, wait a minute. Because the Tokyo Dome, remember, they had, what's that second show they did? That was the crossover
Wrestle
show.
Dynasty.
Wrestle Dream?
Was it? No, Wrestle Dream's the one here.
It was Wrestle Kingdom
Dynasty.
and then Wrestle Dynasty?
Wrestle Dynasty, yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing it.
So
if I'm talking to everybody.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
okay,
we'll
buddy.
work
It's
on.
fine.
I'm working on the adjustments here. So
I'm quiet. It's fine.
Yeah, he is also quiet. So.
I just want to tell Riz I don't hate him and I'm not talking over him and be a jerk. I love you, buddy.
Oh.
We always have that with the Skype. Wait till Mike comes in here. But anyways, so what do you think? What do you think about like if they get the Tokyo Dome? What are you thinking about that, Riz?
Me?
Yes.
Like I'm thinking like that is the be all end all.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is what this connection between Forbidden Door, with their partnership with AEW and New Japan. I think that's where that's at. I think they will. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to get with their international stuff. Like they're trying to hit the big sections of. They're trying to hit the big four. They're trying to collect them all. They're trying to, collect all the Dragon Balls pretty much, and be like, yeah, they're trying to get to those places, the meccas of wrestling. So they have their in with New Japan right now. They can try to get into Japan, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Oh, and also, as far as the Forbidden Door, the chat room's reminding me there was a lot of stuff. We had Repo represented there. We had CMLL represented there. Stardom was represented. So it isn't just obviously
not just
New Japan is the headline, the co-headline. It is the AEW X New Japan. The pay-per-view is carried on New Japan World. They obviously representation there between the announcers and everything else. It is a joint thing regardless of how many AEW versus New Japan specific contracts are involved in this thing. But obviously they're creating, they were kind of the first to create this alliance situation that now you see WWE again. I go back to everything we love about WWE and they're flourishing right now is kind of thanks to things AEW started. And I mean,
if it wasn't for the connection with TNA,
it really isn't.
Wouldn't be. Yeah. There wouldn't be anything with TNA and WWE.
No, it like AEW helped prop up TNA versus a bad time that was getting better that could have killed them over COVID. Obviously Ring of Honor, COVID did kill them. And just to look back, I remember Shane Taylor saying, "Hey, no, Ring of Honor's taking care of us." A couple guys did over COVID. They weren't doing much, but they're like, "Hey, we're getting paid. We're okay." Unfortunately, that meant their parent company said, "Yeah, we need to sell you. You're costing too much money." but still, they did the right thing for the time, if not for the prolonged. And now they got absorbed, which I think is a net positive. Sucks that the company went away, but still, at least the history is intact. And I really think it kind of fits well with AEW. Ring of Honor helped AEW happen.
Oh yeah,
with All In.
Oh yeah,
and I, in the scheme of things and the way things landed. I think it's great that AEW kind of helped recover it.
And they were able to use so much archival footage from Ring of Honor for stories from Bryan Danielson to CM Punk. I mean, Punk said he last came back to wrestling from Ring of Honor and use that as his mathematical break. But one of my favorite moments was the dog collar match against MJF. He came out to the AFI song. So and they were able to reference all those old Ring of Honor moments that were just pure gold. So
yeah. And this Tina brings a good point too. CML is not readily available to U.S. audiences yet. And that's a complaint I've had with AAA until we had Triple Mania a few weeks ago, right? I hope it isn't quite as WWE-ified for the rest of it, but yeah, that's what I want them to platform things. I want Stardom to be easier to watch. It's not now. Stardom World as a platform is where New Japan World was 10 years ago. From what I can see, I don't think there's, if any, English commentary on there. Because I remember it was always hit and miss with the Japanese shows, the New Japan shows. A lot of them, I say 80% on Wrestle Universe is English. But if they're not, you can kind of speak the language so what's going on, except for when the girls like the K-pop girls are singing in the Tokyo Joshi.
Yeah.
It gets a little off there. So back to Forbidden Door. One touch more on that before we go to our first break here. Obviously, great championship matches. Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel, including the technical spectacle the week before they get to that, were tremendous. Loved seeing that. It was a great moment there in the O2 for Nigel and Zack Sabre Jr. Actually, I think a lot of things hit really well on that. Like I wasn't bored by any matches. When you have these 9-10 match cards or anything like that, even the pre-show was fun. Because you did get the War Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I get to learn who the new War Dogs are that I haven't seen in a while. Things like that. So that was a lot of fun. That cage match. I listen. You've done some death match. Okay, I think you're the perfect person. You've seen the fork ear spot from this thing, and
gnarly doesn't even begin to describe it. Doesn't even begin.
So obviously there's going to be some complaints about AEW might be getting too violent, too gross out.
Yeah.
But the way I see it, I think GCW, they're doing something WWE doesn't dare to do. And since WWE does so many things that they currently do, I think they feel they have to. And now only the top people are doing it. Moxley is usually involved. Darby is a crazy fucker. Is that, from your perspective, do you think like they're going too far with this on this level of product?
Hell no. I mean, it's it's a pay-per-view match. It's in partnership with New Japan.
Yeah.
You're telling all these stories, and especially it's from the lens of saving the company, but why am I being viewed as the villain? And from Moxley's perspective, he thinks he's doing the right thing. And if you're going to get into a cage with Jon Moxley, how are you not understanding that you're signing a nonverbal contract to get your ass kicked?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're literally in there with a caged animal.
Plus a lights out match, right? That exactly. All in Texas match was grody, like crazy, crazy.
Yep.
We had the spiked bat incident from a few months ago. With Edge.
It got lodged in his back.
That could have been so bad.
It was just watching the skin stay attached to it and just the mouse wheel spinning in the head, just like, what the hell am I going to do about this? Like, I am not trained medical professional.
And also remember, this is, we talk about Moxley. Moxley is somebody that comes from those CZW Tournament of Death. We just reposted the, a match from 2009. I was like, I couldn't, at the time, I didn't know why it was such a big deal. And then you look and you're like, oh, he did all this stuff. This is actually, he's a bad motherfucker. If he's in this match, obviously we didn't do much there, it was just kind of an interesting angle with Sami Callihan and Daisy Hayes and Delirious, but weird stalker angle almost. I don't know what play today, but
those Switchblade conspiracy promos were fucking nuts. Just like the way that,
and I think it's the only time they might have done it twice. That's the only one that I think I found, but so I think it's, and again, that's kind of one of those, put your kids to bed. It's like, they're telling you when it's going to be, versus, and they kind of do some of that stuff on Dynamite, but there's worse stuff on other channels.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at the tag team match with Brodito, he got busted open by the pipe by Stokely, and the camera kind of picked it up kind of weird, like the pipe got dropped or something. But like Brody got some insane color for a TV match, but it was setting up the pay-per-view to make that match a triple threat.
Absolutely.
So I think it makes sense. It makes sense in the sense of the storyline, because like it's not violence for the sake of having violence. It's a vehicle. It's going somewhere. And if anyone's going to do it, why not trust AEW? They're clearly allowed to do it based on what their TV rights or the constraints of their contracts are. So if you're going to do it right and you're allowed to do it, why the hell not?
Which is always funny to me, because I remember after WCW went so far with things, they got reined back by standards and practices of Turner on the same channel. And now TNA's, this is a different era where we can say fuck at 9:00, on cable now. So like, I watched some of those shows and I'm like, oh, this is on after 11, right? And like, no, it's like 9:30. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, it's cable. There's actually no rules. And that's just self-imposed. But, advertisers or whatever, maybe you're concerned about. But yeah, I think not everybody's gonna like it, but they're finding their audience, and that's what they're super serving that audience. And I've always had that argument with that. So
I will say this, as somebody who isn't the biggest fan of, or the biggest deathmatch fan,
mm-hmm.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do get, like, whenever that happens, the story behind it matters.
Mm-hmm.
But I also get that if you don't like that deathmatch wrestling, there's, in that same pay-per-view, there was the Athena and
mm-hmm.
Tony Storm match. There was a lot more stories, a lot more wrestling there
mm-hmm.
that can turn you towards your match.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be the be all end all that you just saw a lights out guy with, you saw a fork spot in the ear spot, or you didn't see Darby Allin jump through 2 tables for God knows why.
And when you have a 9 match show that's 5.5 hours, and you decide maybe I won't watch that lights out gross out match, you probably don't feel like you still feel like you got your money's worth. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. And I think that's the thing. I think I might have said this recently, or said this off to somebody else or something. They're playing a different game. ESPN aside, but WWE has devalued their pay-per-views because it's whatever you're paying for not Netflix internationally or Peacock, which is almost free for everybody at this point. I get it with my Grubhub, I think, like I was like, mm-hmm. Okay, sure. It's got commercials. I guess I'll watch Twisted Metal and whatever. Yeah. And versus, a $60 pay-per-view in the States, I think it is, I think AEW feels the pressure to make sure you got your money's worth, that there's something for you. Here's 10 matches. Yeah. And that's their answer to that. Because you're like, if you turn in a 5-match card like we're going to get into for Clash of Paris this weekend and paid $60 for that, I don't think it works. I don't think you're getting the TKO money. I don't think it happens for WWE under those circumstances. They devalued, pushed eyeballs, sold advertising, got TV rights. Like, it's a different game plan altogether, and they killed it. They absolutely killed it, until the point where now we're gonna have to pay a little bit more. But that's not on them, that's on the providers. So, and
when you have so many different platforms and options for watching, you're now alienating your audience. You're now making them go to 3 different apps.
Yep.
And wherever
it's harder.
And accessing the library in the back catalog too is even more of a pain in the ass.
But all of it's going to YouTube. So the other thing is, it's on a platform. You get to roll it out again on a new platform. You get to roll it out again on YouTube now. You get to roll it out again on Netflix, here internationally. Like it's a, I understand this from this concept from what we do on our YouTube. Is like you roll out, re-roll out, you put it on this new platform in front of an eye. Somebody's going to see it for the first time, or, oh, hey, this is back. Oh man, SummerSlam 92 is back. I got to watch that, is on the YouTube, and now you're there. Now you're on the other platform. So it's all, content reuse is really big if you have the content. Right. Repackaging, repushing out. Here's the best of, here's this, like that, other ways. You're not going to sit through SummerSlam because you don't care about the Mountie match, but you're going to get a best of SummerSlam where you can watch.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'm sorry, such a bad example. It's the only person I can think of. I don't know.
I'm a fake Canadian. I take offense to that.
Okay, Akeem the African Dream match. Okay, since we were talking about that a few weeks ago, weren't we like showing intern John that on Patreon? They're like, okay, he was managed by this guy Slick, and he's Akeem the African Dream, and then John looks at him and says, "What?" So, like, yes, this is what we did. It's okay. It was the 80s, which is not okay, but it was the 80s. I have the same thoughts when I watch Short Circuit 2 back. This is actually very problematic, some of these characters in here, but it's my childhood. Either way, thank you guys for supporting this and reliving our childhood. You keep me stocked in Transformers Band-Aids when I hurt myself. Anyways, thank you everybody that does support us. Patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. We're going to give you some Patreon updates. You learned about Preston Everest being in a Popeye movie.